What's up, everyone? Brian here for Ginger World Gaming on location over at the Bearded Blevins studio. I've been hanging out with my buds this week. If you guys aren't following Bearded Blevins on YouTube and on Twitch, I'll include links in his description below so you can go check out his content. But beyond that, I just finished listening to the entire hour-long March devlog for New World and was just too excited that I was like, hey John, can I make a video here while I'm here? And he definitely agreed. So I was like, yes. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I don't have all of my art assets. I don't have everything that I typically would put into one of these videos. If you guys want to go watch the hour-long devlog for yourself, obviously the link will be in the description for that as well. So go, encourage you to check it out. But I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and the highlights and the summary of what they've got planned out, especially what they've got planned out for the year, because the highlight for me, what I was really excited to see them talk about, was their 2022 roadmap. And they break it up into 3 different seasons right now: spring, summer, and fall, and basically kind of highlight big content that is coming in each of those seasons. Now, one of the things that it doesn't really break down is when in the season is that coming. So you can kind of think of each season probably roughly spanning about 3 months. So one big piece of content in each month, along with bug fixes, along with other adjustments, along with tuning, along, with all these little extras that we tend to actually see. When we guys look at the March update, which right now I would say tentatively is scheduled for next week at the time of this recording, I think it's going to be pretty impactful of a year. But here we go. I want to give you guys kind of the TLDR, some of the big takeaways I think are going to be really exciting. And then we're going to go into each specific month, each specific season, and kind of break it down. First and foremost, inventory is shared. That means it's going to be free to transfer materials from any storage unit to any storage unit, regardless of if you own the faction or not. I think that's going to be a real big friction reducer. I think that's going to really help you out, especially if you go to a town that doesn't have the right tiered crafting station. That's going to help reduce that. They're also talking about regional transfers. This is a question that I get brought up to me a lot. Regional transfers being a huge thing that, along with the transfers, like if you really go back in time and say hindsight being 2020, that should have been in from day one. They're going to be turning off basically the free distribution of these transfer tokens, and eventually that's going to actually become a paid item, which it really should be. I honestly think it'd be really great to see them basically say, with every game, every time you come at like any new sale of the game, you get 2 for free, and then then you can purchase them. But ultimately that should also help stabilize some of the populations, along with more server mergers as needed. So that's going to be, I think, a real big thing. But regional transfers being that if you created a character thinking that existed or hoped that it one day would exist, well, now here's good news. They don't have a date on that, but I would expect to see that fairly soon, since they're talking about it now. They're talking about having shifting their cooldowns to being actually more of a global cooldown system, in terms of like 5 a.m. is kind of the daily reset. 5 a.m. tends to be kind of a good quiet time. That's actually when I probably play this game the most in my time zone. But the ability for them to kind of normalize like any kind of weekly or kind of daily kind of system reset, kind of shifting into that kind of time, as opposed to, I think apparently it's been more personalized, so could end up causing a little bit of confusion there. They also talked about the tuning orbs for the dungeons and stuff, shifting those to being more of a bonus rather than a requirement to the dungeons themselves, or expeditions in this case. I think that's going to be huge. Excuse me. Not sponsored, but this is really good. I've discovered the focus water. I've really been enjoying it. Not sponsored. Anyway, so I think that's actually going to be a nice point, because the balance behind the orbs has always been in incentivizing open world content, and if they're able to do that, and I think if they turn it into bonuses, I hope that comes hand in hand with their ability to sell them. Like, just let somebody who wants to make orbs and put them on the market, and let there be an economy around them. You can hear people walking around all up and down. Illinois is weird. From a Texas boy who's never had a basement. This is actually pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so the other aspect that we've seen here is they had a big conversation around experience, and how that they're going to be having a double XP weekend coming up with the release of the March update. The problem with that, in my mind, is that as a level 60 player, that doesn't really benefit me much, but they are still saying that weapon experience looks to be coming for the blunderbuss for those who want to level it up faster. But still, like, this doesn't solve the problem for us people who are at 60, who still could get some value out of XP if they would just give it some value. So I keep tweeting at them. We're going to keep them continually to be like, hey, just do exactly what you did with the professions, the gathering, like bring that system into the pure and let XP continue to be valuable. They also talked about the ability to respec your zone, especially if you pick those pesky XP levels. Like, I still think that those would be valuable if they brought some value to XP post level cap, but they're talking about allowing you to change up your regional stuff. So lots of really good thoughts going into kind of the core thing when they start talking about these seasons. Spring, summer, and fall. Spring kicks off with the March update, where we're going to get the Tempest Expedition, the new weapon, the Blunderbuss. They're also talking about now 3v3 PvP arenas, which will allow you to really kind of test your skill, and a PvP reward track, which starts to make me think that they're really kind of looking and studying what Guild Wars 2 does so well in terms of its reward tracks. Now, there was no mention of whether that reward track is a paid battle pass or something of that nature, but we do know that they really haven't started leaning and talking about monetization, which was a real big fear for a lot of players last summer. Still, here we are. It is the spring and no conversation about that. So, and they did not bring up monetization specifically. So my hope is that with the reward track, it's just a part of the game. But I'm very interested to see, because they have talked about battle passes in the past, what ultimately that looks like, how that ultimately shakes out. And I don't think now's the right time for that. I think right now is the time you continue to refine, you listen to the active players who are actively in your game, and then you kind of wait for that, that the right time for that extra monetization beyond what they currently have with their cash shop. All right, so I personally really excited about this. I think the fact that we're seeing wars, invasions, and even why am I drawing a blank on it? It was literally OPR in the game modes. If you guys haven't seen, as a part of March, like they're moving kind of this game mode menu on your main menu, and I was like, that's genius, that's perfect. And then you could see PvP arenas being as a part of that, so you could be out and about in the world and in queue, which is going to, I think, open up a lot of different options. It's still going to have people who blog in and in town and just sit in queue. And so either way, I think it's going to be, for those of us who like to explore the world a little bit more, maybe do a little bit more fishing while we wait, I think that's going to be big. Summer is going to have the Expedition Barnacles and Black Powder, which is very pirate themed. They're also going to add in an Expedition Group Finder, along with a summer event. So we've seen the winter convergence. I guess we're going to see the summer convergence in this regard. They also talk about in the fall having the Halloween event, the Night and Vale Hollow event, and the Turkalon 2022 is returning as well. So I've been very impressed by the Christmas event, the Winter Convergence. My voice is being kind of weird right now, but I'm very excited to see them continue these events and these seasons, and I think that's going to be really cool to see. And they also talked about kind of the events that are going on right now with adding in raffle bones and some of the other things that they've been improving on to the leveling and player experience. But Barnacles and Black Powder and Expedition Group Finder, love to know y'all's thoughts on it. I don't think this doesn't sound like matchmaking. This sounds like essentially being able to list the things that you want to do and maybe put some requirements into that, or a facilitation other than shouting. One of the things that I do enjoy about the game is that there often feels like there is a lot of conversation going on, and there's obviously multiple trade channels, but it is helpful to be able to sit here and say, hey, yeah, check the party finder and just go ahead and auto join in. It just kind of helps make the management of it maybe a little bit easier. So we'll have to see how that gets implemented, and I know I'll be giving feedback, because I think, personally speaking, the Final Fantasy XIV has a great party finder system. Again, we're not talking matchmaking, we're just literally talking like, hey, I've listed this, hop on in, and when you're ready. Fall Brimstone Sands. This is the new zone. This is the desert zone that we've seen teased off, and people have kind of hacked their way into it. I think this is going to be an exciting time. I don't know what it means overall for war. Is this zone controllable? Is it not? Does it become the new endgame zone, or one of the many endgame zones, and whether or not it can be region controlled? Does that mean any region control for the zones that are currently there that cannot be controlled? We will have to find out and wait and see. And they bring it up with also the new Enad expedition. The Great Sword, yes, that's right. I don't know what, like, hopefully we get a status update on the daggers in that regards, because we did see the blunderbuss, the daggers, and you know, yeah, I think that, and we saw the void gauntlet, so the daggers still in question. Hopefully those, I believe those are still coming. They did mention those earlier, but the next weapon that's going to be added after blunderbuss is Great Sword. I'm very excited about that as somebody who really wants to play Great Sword in this game. Leaderboards for both PvE and PvP content is coming. More events, like I said, with Turkulon and the Night Veil Hollow event. And that looks like in my opinion, like as somebody who like really enjoys this game, as a great opportunity for growth in this game. This is a really good roadmap, so that we're not sitting here wondering, hey, is this still happening? And obviously all this is still being brought in with all the other updates that they're applying and all the feedback that they're doing. So tip of the hat to the New World devs, and tip of the hat to this putting out these updates. I think these updates are really good for the community. I think they're really good for the game itself, and I just thank them for taking the time to make that, because it is a lot of hard work. And thanks to Bearded Blevins for allowing me to sit down and make this video while I'm here, you know, enjoying a nice little kind of vacation retreat from just the last couple years. So all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for your time and listening. I just wish you all the best. I look forward to, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.